Hello and welcome back to Crafty Artist. I decided that I'm going to show you how I put together my frames, and since I was painting in a previous video, I was painting these to give a stained look to them, and so now I'm going to show you how I put together my frames so you can see what my process is. So I have not glued these, so I'm going to glue these. I just use wood glue. This happens to be glue I'm using. It happens to be Gorilla Glue. I really like this Gorilla wood glue. But I have not painted this. I'm going to paint this after I have glued it. So, and I'll show you one that I've already painted. So a little, I go through what my mom always taught me, a little dabble do ya. So you don't need tons of wood glue. You don't want it seeping out the sides like crazy. So you just want a thin line of glue. You don't need a lot. It's strong, it holds. You see that? Not a lot, okay? And I'm not fancy. I don't have a huge clamp to put all these together, but that is hopefully something I will eventually have. But a lot of people might not have wood clamps, so this just shows you that you can do it without it. Okay, so I'm just gluing these 4 slats together. These are 4-inch pieces of wood, and I'm cutting them. I cut them to be about 14 inches because this is true size. This is about 3.5 each, so that comes out to be about 14 inches, and I wanted it to be pretty square, so I cut it to be 14 inches. So right now I'm just kind of evening it with my side. Make sure that it's level. It's going to be kind of a T square. Now, again, these are not going to be perfect because wood is not perfect. So it's not going to be perfect. So, but what I am doing right now is I am pre-measuring it to double check and make sure that after everything's good, then it will fit. So, looks awesome right now. You do not have to paint this. Obviously, you could do a stain look if you want. You can paint it black, you can paint white, you can paint it turquoise, you can paint it pink, whatever color you want. That's the beauty of wood. You can paint it whatever you want. So this is going to dry right now. I'm letting this dry first, then I'm going to paint it before I put the frame on it because I don't want to get white on here. Okay, so previously I did glue these 2 pieces together. These are 3-inch pieces, which is about 2.5, 2 3/4 inch pieces. And I did this and I glued them already. It did not take long to dry. If you notice, yes, there is a warp in it, but that is okay. That is the beauty of wood. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Also, what I previously did was I glued a couple corners. I got these nifty little things from Amazon. I can put the link in the description, just to get it a nice right angle. Now I will go in and I will put a nail in here just to reinforce it. The glue will hold it itself, but in a horrible case scenario where it would fall and it happened to break, it probably would not if you put a nail in there just to make sure and reinforce it. So I will be putting a nail to reinforce it. So I did put, I did 2 of those. I did that corner and I did this corner. And I'm going to, actually I think, okay, so then those will fit really beautifully together when I get them nice and glued. So what I'm going to do off camera, I'm there's a little piece of white there. That's okay. Okay, what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to glue them and I'm going to reinforce them because I might have to make some sanding and some adjustments because I do have a warped piece of wood. I want to make sure that that it's all going to still fit nicely. And so if you have to make any sanding adjustments or if you have to make some cuts or whatever, then that is totally okay. Because this is your piece. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Because I'm noticing, and you probably can't see it, but I am noticing that there's a little bit of space in between mine. I don't know if you can see that. There's a teeny tiny bit of space. Now, I could just fill it with wood putty, but I might sand it, I might not. But look how awesome that looks. And even without being glued and with it being falling apart, all that good stuff. Don't mind me, I am not perfect. This is gonna look super cute. I have vinyl already cut, already ready to put on there. I will show you the finished product, and then what I do on the back of it when it's all put together. Like I said, I do not paint the sides because they're not going to be seen, and I don't paint the back because then you can see that it's just nice and rustic on the back. Then I just put some wall hangers on either this part of the wood or this part of the wood. It's totally up to you. So it can be hung, and then boom, you're done. So I will show you the finished product when that is done. And I'll put that aside as I flail and flabble with that. Don't mind me. Okay, so already this is getting dry, and it has only been, what, like 6 minutes since we finished doing that part. So it dries really quickly. So you don't need to worry about it coming apart once it's dry. What I do need to do still is I need to paint it, which I'm going to do. Right now I'm just using kind of my leftover paint right now that I have, which is just the apple barrel white. I do like using other kinds of white. I've used all different sorts of brands. Apple barrel tends to be a lot more watery, but we are not too picky here. And I don't like, excuse the noise, I don't like getting an extra thing all dirty just if I'm going to paint one solid thing. So I am just coming in here and I'm just painting. This already had some paint on from my other painting that I'm doing, my big one that I'm doing. I'm also painting that at the same time so I can get all 3 of these done. And again, I don't paint the sides because those are going to be glued together with the frame. So there is absolutely no reason to waste your paint to paint the sides. Absolutely no reason, because you're not going to see them. If paint gets on the sides, whoop-de-doo, that's fine. Wipe it off, do whatever. But you don't need to purposely paint the sides because they're going to be completely covered and you're not going to see them. I just will swipe. If I get some on the edge, I'll swipe it so it doesn't create a bump of paint there. Actually, almost out of this paint. That's okay. And then I don't know if I'm going to do more than one coat because I do like having the wood grain show a little bit in the white. It kind of still gives it a little bit of character. If you want it to be completely white and not be able to see, then you'll want to do at least 2 coats, probably 3 depending on the brand that you're using. Apple barrel would at least need 2 coats if you want it to be completely clear. Most whites you will need at least 2 coats. Some you might need 3. There's different colors that will require different coats. Like black, usually 1 coat and you're done. Super easy. But with white, you usually need at least 2 coats. Yellows, you need, oh goodness, you need at least 2 coats, probably 3. There's some reds where you need 3, maybe even 4 coats. Can be pretty annoying. depending on the brand and the shade also, because some shades cover really well. There's some blues that do not cover well, and there's some blues I only use one coat. So it all depends on the brand. Folk art tends to be thicker. Sometimes you actually need to thin it out with water because it's so thick. Americana is they're pretty consistent. Apple Barrel is a super cheap alternative, but they do water down their paint, so you need to do more coats generally with those. And there's the Craft Smart brand. There's which is the Michaels brand. There's the Anita's, which is the Hobby Lobby brand. Those are actually, I really like the Anita's and the Craft Smart. In most cases, they're really good and they're cheap. So if you're doing a craft project, then you don't need to spend the extra money unless you can't find the shade that you want in the cheaper brands. Okay, so I have that now. Painted white, you can still see some of it. I might go through and lightly sand it just with some of my finer sandpaper by hand. I do have a palm sander, but I don't think I want to use a palm sander for this because it would take most of the paint off. So I'm just going to lightly sand it with some extra fine sandpaper. And I'm going to show you what I did. I did this a couple times. So I'm just taking some of my water and I'm actually rubbing it off. So I've actually had to do this several times because I kind of went crazy with my white today, painting the rest of my other things. But I have white. Don't mind me. I am an imperfect person, and you will see that. My family calls me the queen of random. So I almost have made my channel that. But I wanted people to see that I am an artist by nature, but I love doing crafts, especially wood crafts. So that's why I named it Crafty Artist. So there you go. I just used some water because it's already soaked into the wood. The brown did not erase or anything, but the white did because I was able to get it before it really started to soak in. So that is the beauty of paint and getting it quickly. And that's the stupidity of painting white around your brown frames. So, you know, like I said, I'm not perfect and I never will claim to be. Okay, so I have painted this, I have painted that, I have painted my big huge one, even though I think I may need another coat because it is, oh, what do they call it? It's really thin particle board, and I can't even get it in the shot because it's so huge. I cut it to be a little bit more than 1 foot by 3 feet, just because with this one, I'm going to be putting the wood on top of it, not to the side of it. I'm actually going to be putting it on top of it, and I will show you why in another video. I'm actually going to be stapling it from behind with my staple gun / nail gun. I'm so excited to use that actually. So that will be in a future video when I can zoom my camera out so you can actually see the whole thing. And when I'm more prepared for that, that will probably come soon for you, but that will be a little bit down the road for what I'm doing. Okay, so this is actually, see, I'm picking it up. It's done. It's obviously, you don't want to go flailing it around because it still could come apart. It's not cured yet, but it is stuck together. You can put the frame around it now, and you will be fine with it. Yeah, that's this side. Okay, so yes, I did this side, and then the shorter one is for the sides. And the longer ones are for the bottom and top, and this is for the sides. And I just noticed a little piece that I didn't get right there. Okay. So I'm using a bigger thing than I'm used to using. because I had more area to cover, so I figured I would use it, but I really don't like these big brushes. I like the smaller, normal size brushes. I'm more comfortable with them. I use them all the time. So I'm just rambling and trying to get this all done. So I will link all my information to my description. My Facebook page is called Pearlized. I can tell you the story if you want to hear the story later. I do have an Etsy shop called pearlizedesigns. I don't have anything on it right now because I'm revamping it. I have a whole bunch of paintings that I'm going to sell, that I am selling on my Facebook page, and my home decor, because I do both. I do chocolates too. That's a whole different story. So this is part of my home decor, and I will have some of my frames and stuff up in my Etsy shop soon also, and I'll have a finished product for you when I'm done with that. And I'll link all that stuff in the description. I'll link where I got these corner things, which are pretty nifty, in the description. And anything else that I can think of that you would need to know. All my wood I get from Hobby Lobby, from Home Depot. I get it cut in half just to bring it home, and then I cut it myself and sand it myself and do all that stuff. Except for the big thing. I don't have a table saw. I just have a miter saw. So I can't do all that fancy stuff until I can get a table saw. Dreams. That's what I'm focusing on. So for now, I will say goodbye, and I will talk to you guys soon, and hope you enjoy your day. See you later.